Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's March 20th of 2021. Just woke up a while ago from a nap, but my arthritis it's never hurt worse than it does right today or right now. Going to take an naproxen for that. They usually help a lot. Sometimes I take the naproxen and then I take a nap. Didn't go down. Went down. If the pain doesn't go away in a little bit, it's then the shoulders and the neck, down into the back, some other places too, but that's the worst right now. If it doesn't go away here in a little bit, I'm going to take a nap, and usually what happens is I take an naproxen and then wake up and feel a little bit better. I don't know why it is hurting so extra bad today. This is just about, unbearable. As I said, today is March 20th of 2021. No one here in my family has received the stimulus check yet. Some people have, starting, actually, I had a family member who got it last week, like Friday, I think it was. It was the day before they said that it was going out to people. And, but here, none of us have, my ex-wife, my grown son, and myself, we share this apartment. And none of us have got the check yet. Well, it's going call it a check, it's a direct deposit. If you're here in the United States, it's a $1,400 stimulus check to help the people who are hurting. We're not hurting so much by sharing an apartment and everything. I'm 80. I'm going to be, I'll be 80 in 6 more days. I've been making a few changes. I just got an Epson inexpensive printer. It's not printer, scanner. Damn pain from the arthritis is hurting so much I can't think. And it's right here. So I'm hoping that I can scan a whole bunch of old-timey pictures that I have, because I haven't wanted to do it with the hardware that I had before. A printer that prints, and that faxes, and it scans. What else does it do? I don't know, but this is just a scanner, $99 scanner, and it's right here. So I can sit here and watch a Netflix video or something and being scanning, where before the printer was too big to go on the desk. I would have to actually I think I was always standing, had to stand up to do any scanning. So this is going to be an improvement, I hope. One of the reasons my arthritis may be hurting so bad is this damn chair. I need to get a replacement for this chair. As I've reported in my videos for years, and I guess before I did videos, I'm not doing well with chairs. I have to get a new chair about every year. I don't think it's because of my weight, although I just weighed. I haven't weighed in about a week. I am at 251. The most I've ever weighed in my life is 252. 1 more pound, and I'll be at the 252. 2 pounds, and I will reach I'll have a new record. That's not good. And that may be what's aggravating my arthritis. So what else is going on? I'm messing a little bit with my Google Pixel 4a. I made an entire video a day or two ago where I called it the 3a. This is a 4a, and I still haven't got everything. I mean, I got all the apps are over. I've got all of my apps, but I haven't got them moved to the home screen and to the other couple of screens that I need to put them on. I want to have my home screen that'll have Uber and Lyft and a few things that I will use, and then have the other screen will be amateur radio stuff, and other screen may be weather stuff, something like that. I haven't really I've taken a few pictures, and I think you may have seen a little video, I believe, can't remember, from this, but I haven't really done much with the taking of photos or videos yet with this, but I will. Like I mentioned the other day, I'm not going to do a review on this. There are so many reviews on the Pixel 4a, and they're all, well, not all of them, but there are a tremendous number of excellent, full, complete. I'm not going to try to compete. What I will do is tell you when I run across a problem or when I run across something that really works great for me or something. So it'll be like a comment thrown in during the video. This is the desk that one you see on the screen here. This is the desk that I am using now. I've had it since March of 2021. No, that's when I ordered it. Okay, for some reason it's not showing up, because that's what I have here, and I ordered another one of them. Well, I guess it says that I last purchased this. Okay, so what I have done is ordered, I think it's going to be here Wednesday, I believe. Nope, it's going to be here Thursday. What I've done is ordered another one of these. And let me see what you can see here of the, let's see, what are we using? Oh, okay, we're using OBS. Okay. Wanted to see what you could see. What I'm going to do is put this together, and it's going to be right on this other side of this desk. So I'll be able to move this monitor onto the front edge of that new desk, and I'll probably put another monitor on the front edge, so I'll have two monitors going. And main reason, if I wasn't doing YouTube stuff, I would only be using one monitor, but I want to be able to have OBS or Manicam or whatever I'm using on the other monitor, so I can see exactly what you're seeing, and not have to guess when I hold something up, what you can see. And then too, the idea is if I move the monitors back a little bit, I'll stop getting some of, like when I change something, the light from the monitor, will be hitting my face. And I notice it. Maybe you don't, but it'll be back a little bit. The two monitors on the, then it's going to free up, and then I have a couple of lamps on this, and I'll probably move them back. I'm not sure, maybe totally move them back. So I'll have more space, and then right now I'm using the Brio Logitech camera, and it's on a tripod on the floor, on the floor. But I think that I'll be able to collapse the tripod down and put it maybe between or behind the two monitors. So it'll be up here more, coming in that way. We'll see when I get it hooked up. When I get the new desk. It's a 47-inch. Well, you can read it yourself. 47-inch desk. I'm kind of wishing now that I had. I bought the very same that I have here. I'm kind of after I've already ordered it, but I kind of wish now that I maybe had done the 55-inch. But there's very little room in this room, and I just put the tape measure, but room is very limited. If I put the desk back there, I'll have room to get around. Now I have a pain in my eye, falling apart. I'll be able to get around, and it won't. I'm not sure. I think it's a good idea to go with the same size exactly, because I know exactly how far it comes over here. If I go much further, I couldn't get to the bathroom. Well, I could go out this way or something, but so I'm not sure when I'm going to get the $1,400 stimulus. I should get it. Thought I'd get it sooner than this, but I'm going to use 200 of that to get a new chair, and I think that's it. I mean, that I can think of now. What else? Let me look at the wish list. Now, the wish list doesn't mean that, what do I want to look at? Okay, Amazon. And go over to, let's see, the wish list. I call it the wish. I should name it something else. Now, as an example, I just saw a guy reviewing the Midland 50 channel waterproof GMRS. You get 2 of them for $70. Thinking about maybe getting it. My grown daughter and grown grandson, they live in the apartment next to us in this apartment complex. So they live in not this building, but over. And when we're in Texas, so we lost power it was either 2.5 days or 3.5 days. It seemed like a month. And we lost immediately cell phone service also. We lost electricity, and even cell phone service went to hell because the cell phone towers got their, they have backup batteries, but they were depleted because of the cold, I guess. They were depleted immediately, so no cell phone service, and it was just. But I thought, that with the walkie-talkies, something. I'm an amateur radio operator, but my daughter is not. So with this, GMRS, we could have 2 of those. If we both kept them charged up, that would be something we could use to communicate it back and forth. By the way, this is the chair that I am planning on getting. If you happen to have had any experience with it, bad or good, you might let me know. That's what I'm planning on purchasing. I finally ran out of the screen. You know when you go have glasses made and that you can purchase the little packets of, and you tear it open and it works on your glasses. I had I bought a whole bunch of those. I think it was in a box. Lasted a long time, but they actually lasted so long that they started to dry. They were starting to dry out, but of course I'd started using them for my monitors. And so, here again, if you have a recommendation, I'm going to purchase this spray cleaner for cleaning the monitor lenses. I don't notice it too much, but I do occasionally see it. It's one of those little things that bugs me. Now, I mean, of course, if it was obviously, but I'll see sometimes with the sunlight or something, and I see it on something on the screen, and it just is one of those things that. So, but if you happen to have a recommendation for cleaning the screen, I'll use it, of course, on also my cell phone. Now, I've been thinking about this BLine computer, Windows 10 computer here. This one here. It's a lot of money, though. But I like the idea of a small, compact that's tricked out with some really good specs. 1 terabyte hard drive, a 512 SSD drive, just everything is really specced out. And I know you can put it together, you can buy it, and some others you can buy and just put all the parts, pick the parts out yourself and put them in, and they just drop, just drop in, click in. They designed it easily like that. One time I bought a computer myself to put together and all the parts, and I guess I shorted out the circuit board that you plug, you put in the case, and then you put all the parts on. Well, right away I shorted out the thing. So don't want to do something like that again. But you wouldn't with this. I mean, stuff just clicks in. But this one here is basically all assembled. You wouldn't need anything else. But I don't think I'm going to purchase it. But I mean, it's on the list for something. Now here is the scanner that I have now here. Inexpensive one. Seems like it works fine. And I have been thinking of, I purchased a 4K monitor a while back, and it was enjoyable watching some YouTube videos in 4K. Especially I liked watching the ones of New York City, somebody walking down the street in New York City, but I mean they weren't just, these were professional people doing this in order to, but I saw walking down the street, and you saw all the places that you've seen in the movie. I've never been to Washington, D.C. for a couple of weeks. That's the first time I've been in the northeast part of the United States. But, I mean, all those places you've seen in movies and that type of stuff, it was really interesting seeing, I enjoyed seeing that. But then I spent about 5 years in Miami, Florida, and I walked around in those there, and I watched 4K. It might have been the same company that did it, 4K monitor or 4K video of Miami, Florida. That was really, you know, the mall, the Bayside Mall and Biscayne Boulevard and all that stuff. I actually walked, you know, walked that area. That was really interesting to see. And I watched some other 4K, but I just gave the 4K monitor after a week or two of use, maybe less, to my grown son that lives here. He's using it. But I've been thinking about getting another one, but then I remember the problems I had with getting the right resolution for your apps that pop up and things like that. It was just like a full-time, it was a full-time job. Watching the 4K videos was fine, but what's interesting though, this monitor here, because of the video card that I have a really nice video card, and the way this non-4K monitor is, I can go into the NVIDIA settings. I already did that and change, I forget what it's called, to turn something on. And then it makes available the 4K settings, and this actually is, you know, becomes 4K, and I can do 4K on it. I watched 4K. Then again, I watched some of the 4K video YouTube with no buffering or anything at all. Just bang here, you know. And I enjoyed looking at those. But then again, especially there with getting the, and I went through and changed, you know, the whatever, I forget now what they call it, you know, the well, that's right. So, but I think about trying to just stick with the two monitor. When I get this other desk, the two monitors, one will be this monitor in 1080p mode, and the other will be in 1080p mode next to it. There's a possibility I may just not put two monitors on that other. Well, I know I will to begin to try it out because that's my idea, but and maybe I will decide that I don't want it this. Of course, it'll only be moved back 5 or 6 inches onto the other, you know, desk. Not like I'm putting the thing all the way across the room or something. Been thinking about a new ham radio, but I just don't want to spend the money because I just don't use amateur radio that much. I'm interested. I'm a member of the ARRL, the American Radio Relay League. I'm paying, you know, for the magazine to be mailed to me, QST. But I'm just not into it that much. A lot of amateur radio operators, you know, as they're driving to work in the morning or coming home, they get on the radio and they're talking to their buddies, and it's the same situation every morning, same guys. I don't even own a car, you know. I would like to do work the satellites. There are amateur radio satellites in space. The International Space Station, the astronauts are amateur radio operators. They have ham radio equipment there. They have a continuous transmissions up there, and so I would like to get into that, but I don't know if I want to spend the money. Well, I could with the cell phone that I have, or the one of the two handy talkies that I have. I could try to make contact through, but I would like to go a little, you know, if I'm going to do that, a little more fancy, and it's expensive for the, you know, top of the line. For the handy talkie, you're talking about $450, $550, and then there's always going to be something else you want to add, you know, an extra battery or something. So I don't know if I want to go to spend that kind of money. I have a bunch of medical conditions, and I make a lot of videos. The one thing I don't think you're going to see is you're not going to see my feet in any of the videos, and you're not going to see my legs because I don't want to see them. I don't want to think about the kind of condition that they're in. You've probably seen other people with diabetes and other people with other conditions. You may have been walking around a mall or something and seen somebody go by and seen their legs that look black and bloated and swollen and whatever, and you may think, do I need to call, you know, do I need to call 911 for this person or what? So I am thinking about, and this might be the one that I would get, you know, here again, if you have a negative comment about the specific one, or if you have one that you know, you recommend. Now my son says, yeah, that'll kill you, because he thinks that I'm thinking about doing, like, you know, a workout, a strenuous workout, you know, running on my cell phone or something, or my tablet or something, that I'm going to try to, like, pedal like I'm going on a cross-country tour or something like that. No, I would use it mainly, you know, just to do a little bit of, so I'd get some blood circulating back to my legs and my feet, and get some of the edema, the swelling, and the fluid retention out of my legs and feet. And that's what I'd be using it for. And now, of course, a lot of you have, and friends have told me, you know, go out and walk. You know, there's difficulties. I have difficulty standing up, basically. Sometimes I have to hold the, you know, put my hand on the wall here so I don't fall down. And I have to be very careful, like stepping off a curb. But I'm thinking with this, I'll turn the monitor, or I have actually my ex-wife's using it. She has a big screen, you know, television, but she has a game machine hooked up to my small Roku TV. But what I might do is get a big screen. They're really cheap, you know. Roku TV. Put it, I'm not sure where I'd put it, but put it someplace, and then put this stationary bicycle. Look at it, you know, it's 330 pounds weight capacity. I just told you I'm at 251. One more pound, I'll be at 252, the most I've ever weighed in my life. So I don't know, but anyway, what I'm thinking is, you know, put the bike and then just pedal X number of, like, maybe I watch some show or movie or something something every day, where I would get on the stationary bike and just ride it comfortably to hopefully get the blood circulating and help my leg situation. I mentioned this before. I'm not selling anything vegetarian, but I went to Washington, D.C., and my legs and my feet have been this way for years. Went to Washington, D.C. My daughter and son-in-law are both vegetarians, and I ate their food, and I barely could do it, but I made the effort. Every other day we went out, and they asked when I went there, you know, and I said, how about every other day? We went out every other day, for 3.5 hours. I mean, we didn't set a thing or anything. We just worked out that way. Okay, we're going to do such and such, and it was. So I was there for 2 weeks. Now twice I did go. Once I walked a block down and I forget the hamburger place. I got a hamburger and some fries. Man, that was wonderful. And then the other time I ate regular food. There was a mall right there right there too. And I went in there and had some Chinese food. And that was it. Other than that, I ate their vegetarian food. And I was there for 2 weeks. Before I left, I had lost weight. I didn't weigh until I got home, but I could tell like I was, what in the heck wrong, you know. And then my feet and legs went back to being normal looking. And then when I got back to Texas here, my feet and legs were normal. And then I started eating what I eat here and doing what I do here, and they went back just to like, you know, so I told my daughter, I said, you guys should, nobody would believe it, I said, but you guys should open up like a bed and breakfast situation where people come for like 2 weeks and eat your food and go out and walk. Now, of course, some people wouldn't be able to, but, you know, go out and walk or swim or something for like 2.5 weeks, and they would. Now, I'm sure not everybody's going to have the same, you know, but that's amazing. That's and I've never been a vegetarian fan, really, but that was amazing. And I've, you know, when I go for my doctor's checkups and that type of stuff, happened to talk to the doctor or a nurse or somebody when I was in the hospital for 6 days here, where I had a leg infection. I had bumped into the bed frame on my bed, just a little scrape, and I put some alcohol on it or something, but it was just a little scrape. It became a major problem when I got to the hospital. I took an Uber to the hospital eventually, and they said, you didn't take the ambulance? You should have had an ambulance bring you in. It was amazing. I was there for 6 days. Actually, I was supposed to leave the next day, but I actually left AMA, against medical advice. You know, I made a video about that. I didn't go into a lot of detail, but anyway, so I'm thinking of it, but my son thinks that grown son thinks that I'm going to try to do a decathlon or something. No, just want to move the feet. And I think I could do it with something like this. And just by maybe, you know, watching, I don't watch the news except, I watch the news, but something that I watch every day, or something where I would get on it and then I would be, okay, you know, write it, pedal it. I used to be a bike patrol officer, security officer at a hospital. I love that. I might still be working there if they hadn't changed and decided, okay, well, we're just going to have the bike patrol officers working during the summertime, and during the wintertime, we'll have them going out to these other hospitals, not as a bike patrol officer or whatever. Now, I wouldn't mind going, because I worked at the other smaller hospitals. I worked 9 years at one, which I loved. Of course, it was in my hometown. It wasn't that, but it was the fact that they, when I transferred into the bike patrol thing at the hospital, before that, for the year that they'd had them, the bike patrol officers worked year-round. But when the weather got bad, you know, they would go and take out an unmarked car, and there was 2 guys, both young guys, who wanted to be police officers, and they both went on to become police officers. that's how I got, there were two for like a year, and then one became available, or got hired by the police department, so I got his spot. And then as soon as I got his spot during the warm weather or whatever, the hospital decided, well, in the wintertime, we're not going to have bike patrol officers. We're just have them doing other things. And that's basically when then I came up for my annual merit review, whatever, and I said, by the way, I'm going to retire. I might still be working there. Well, of course, the hospital sold out to a major corporation. In fact, it wasn't just one hospital. When I started working at that hospital, they had one hospital, and then they built a small hospital in the small town that I lived in, and I went to work there for 9 years. And then they started taking over other hospitals, and I forget how many they took over, 20 hospitals or something, just about all the hospitals except for 2 or 3, trauma centers. And then they sold out to the Healthcare Hospital Association. I forget what it was called. Not a good one. So that was, but during the short time that I was a bike patrol officer, the weather started turning cold. And also I'd come in and it'd be raining. When I would come in, the other officer, the young guy who eventually went on to become a police officer or whatever, it would be raining or something, and I would come in to, for the next shift, and he'd be sitting in one of our unmarked vehicles up in a corner of a parking lot way far away, reading magazines or something there, and I'd come in and he'd say, okay, I'll turn the car over to you, and I'd say, no, just park the car, and I'd get, I'd get the bike out and patrol in the rain, and partially because I had an idea that, okay, if this, because before I got the position, I'd seen both of those young guys who both went on to be police officers, if it was cold or whatever, they just took an unmarked car out and drove up into a parking lot and sat there and, read a book or something. And I thought, this is not good. And so I'd come in and the guys would say, oh, it's raining. I said, I'm taking the bike out, and I'd take the bike out, but it didn't do any good, But, so anyway, I think this is enough. My arthritis hurts a little bit less, but I think I've taken the naproxen, so I'm going to take a nap. Thank you very much for watching.